When Captain Daniel Harper stepped off the transport plane at Raleigh-Durham International Airport, the humid North Carolina air hit him like a wave of forgotten comfort. For 8 grueling months, he'd been stationed at Fort Bragg, but his deployment had taken him far beyond the base, into the dust-choked sands of the Middle East, where every day blended into a haze of patrols, briefings, and the constant undercurrent of danger. The thought of his family had been his anchor. His wife Emily, with her sharp wit and infectious laugh, his stepsons Ethan and Logan, boisterous teenagers who filled the house with energy, and most of all, his 7-year-old daughter Sophie, whose wide-eyed innocence could melt the hardest heart. Daniel had secured an early discharge due to a minor injury, a twisted ankle from a training exercise that, ironically, had fast-tracked his paperwork. He'd kept it a secret, dreaming of the surprise. No fanfare, no airport reunions with banners and tears. Just him, walking through the door of their cozy home in Raleigh's Greenwood neighborhood, arms open wide. As the taxi wound through familiar streets lined with oak trees and manicured lawns, his excitement built. He pictured Sophie's squeal, Emily's shocked embrace, the boys' high fives. It was Saturday morning. They should all be home, perhaps lingering over breakfast or planning a lazy weekend. The house looked picture perfect from the outside, white siding gleaming in the sun, the garden Emily prided herself on bursting with hydrangeas and roses. Daniel's key turned smoothly in the lock, and he pushed the door open with a flourish. Emily, Sophie, Ethan, Logan, I'm home. His voice echoed through the foyer, bouncing off the hardwood floors and the family photos lining the walls. Silence greeted him. No patter of feet, no joyful shouts. A frown creased his brow. He dropped his duffel bag by the stairs and ventured deeper, calling out again. Guys, anyone here? Room by room, he searched. The living room was tidy, the couch pillows fluffed as if no one had sat there in hours. The boys' shared bedroom upstairs was empty, beds made with military precision, Ethan's side cluttered with video game controllers, Logan's with sports trophies. Sophie's room, painted in soft pastels with stuffed animals on the shelves, showed no signs of recent use. The master bedroom was pristine, Emily's jewelry box closed on the dresser. Daniel's confusion morphed into worry. Where could they be? A quick errand, a spontaneous outing. Descending the stairs, a faint sound caught his ear, a muffled sob, coming from the kitchen. His heart lurched. Sophie. He hurried to the door, twisting the handle. Locked. Panic flared. Why was the kitchen locked? Sophie, honey, it's Daddy. Open the door. No response. Just another whimper. Fumbling in his pocket, he found the spare key on his ring, thank God he still carried it. The lock clicked, and he burst in. There she was, Sophie, his little girl, standing in the middle of the tiled floor, her pajamas rumpled, face streaked with tears. She looked smaller than he remembered, her blonde curls tangled, eyes wide with a mix of fear and relief. Daddy, her voice was a trembling whisper. Daniel scooped her up, holding her close, inhaling the faint scent of strawberry shampoo. Oh, Sophie, I'm here. I'm home. What happened? Why are you locked in here? She buried her face in his shoulder, sobs shaking her tiny frame. As he rocked her, his gaze swept the room. The counters were spotless, but against the far wall, a thin mattress leaned haphazardly, topped with a rumpled blanket and a pillow. A child's drawing tablet lay nearby, scribbled with lonely sketches of families holding hands. Sophie, why is there a mattress in here? Where's Mommy? Where are your brothers? He set her down gently, kneeling to her level. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, glancing fearfully at the door. It's Emily and the boys. They went away. To Florida, for Logan's birthday. Her words tumbled out in a rush. 6 months ago, Emily said Ethan and Logan were too big to share a room anymore. So she moved me out of my bedroom. Logan took it, and I have to sleep here now. On the floor, Daniel's world tilted. Sleep here, in the kitchen, alone. The words tasted like bile. He thought back to their video calls during deployment, Emily always smiling, assuring him everything was fine. Sophie had seemed quieter lately, but he'd chalked it up to missing him. Why didn't you tell me, sweetheart? I was scared, Daddy. Emily said if I complained, you'd be mad and leave again. And sometimes she locks the door at night so I don't wander. Sophie's lip quivered. I eat cereal by myself. The boys get to go out, but I have to stay. Rage simmered in Daniel's chest, but he forced calm for her sake. Before he could probe further, a soft knock sounded at the kitchen window. A woman in her mid-30s stood outside, holding a foil-covered plate, her expression concerned. She waved tentatively. Sophie brightened slightly. "That's Mia, our new neighbor. She's nice. She brings me cookies and checks on me." Daniel unlocked the back door, ushering her in. "I'm Daniel, Sophie's dad." "Who are you?" "Mia Thompson," she said, setting the plate down, fresh baked muffins, from the smell. "I moved in next door a few months ago. I've been worried about Sophie. I hear her crying sometimes, and she's always alone when Emily's out. I wanted to call someone, social services, but I didn't want to overstep without proof." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Thank you for looking out for her. This is all new to me. I've been deployed." Mia's eyes softened with understanding. "You're military. That explains a lot. Emily mentioned you were away. But Sophie, she's been through hell. Locked in here like some forgotten pet." As they talked, Sophie nibbled a muffin, her trust in Mia evident. Daniel learned more. Emily's favoritism toward her sons from a previous marriage had escalated in his absence. Trips to amusement parks, new clothes for the boys, while Sophie was sidelined, her needs ignored. Mia had slipped notes under the door, shared stories to keep Sophie's spirits up. Hours passed in a blur. Daniel cooked Sophie a proper meal, pancakes, her favorite, while piecing together the neglect. Flashbacks haunted him. Marrying Emily 5 years ago, blending families. He'd seen hints of tension, Emily's impatience with Sophie's clinginess, but nothing like this. Deployment had blinded him, the distance masking the cracks. By afternoon, the sound of a car in the driveway shattered the quiet. Emily's SUV pulled up, doors slamming as she and the boys unloaded shopping bags and suitcases, laughing about their Orlando adventure, Disney World, beaches, Logan's 14th birthday bash. They burst into the house, voices loud and carefree. "Mom, that roller coaster was epic," Logan crowed. Emily froze at the sight of Daniel in the living room, Sophie perched on his lap. "Daniel, what? How are you here?" "Early discharge," he said evenly, though his eyes burned. "Surprise." The boys exchanged uneasy glances. Ethan, 16 and lanky, mumbled a hello. Logan avoided his gaze. Emily recovered quickly, plastering on a smile. "Well, this is wonderful. We just got back from Florida, Logan's birthday trip. You should have called, we'd have waited." Daniel stood, Sophie clinging to his side. "A trip, without Sophie." Emily waved it off. "Oh, she was fine." Mia checked on her. "Kids need independence." "Independence." Daniel's voice rose. "She's 7, Emily, locked in the kitchen like a prisoner. Sleeping on a mattress on the floor." The room tensed. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. Logan stared at his shoes. Emily's face hardened. "We needed space. The boys are growing. It's temporary." "Temporary. For 6 months." Daniel pulled out his phone, showing photos he'd snapped of the kitchen setup. "I've called the police. They've documented this. Child neglect, endangerment, it's all here." Emily's eyes flashed with fury. "You can't do this. She's exaggerating," Sophie whimpered, hiding behind Daniel. Mia, who'd stayed at his request, stepped forward. "I've seen it, Emily. Every day." The confrontation escalated. Emily screamed accusations, Daniel's absences, his obsession with Sophie. The boys defended their mom half-heartedly, but guilt etched their faces. Daniel remained resolute. "Pack your things. You're out." In a defiant move, Daniel had already dragged 3 mattresses to the lawn, piling them with Emily's and the boys' belongings, clothes, gadgets, mementos. The neighbors watched discreetly as Emily raged, but the arrival of a police cruiser silenced her. Officers confirmed the report, warning of potential charges. Defeated, Emily loaded the SUV in silence, the boys trailing like shadows. As they drove away, she shot Daniel a venomous look. "You'll regret this." But he didn't. With them gone, the house felt lighter. Daniel focused on Sophie. Therapy sessions to process the trauma, redecorating her room with fairy lights and books. Mia became a fixture, dinners together, park outings. Their connection deepened. Mia, a teacher who'd lost her husband young, understood loss and resilience. Weeks turned to months. Daniel attended parenting workshops at the local VA center, learning to spot signs he'd missed. Sophie blossomed, joining a dance class, making friends. One evening, as they sat on the porch swing, fireflies dancing in the twilight, Daniel reflected. I thought coming home would be easy, he admitted to Mia. She squeezed his hand. Life's never that simple, but you've given her a real home now. Flashbacks to deployment surfaced less, replaced by new memories. A family picnic at Umstead Park, where Sophie chased butterflies. Holidays filled with laughter, not tension. Mia moved in eventually, her gentle presence healing old wounds. Years later, around the fireplace, Sophie, now a teenager, shared stories of her dreams. Daniel, graying at the temples, raised a glass with Mia. To family, he toasted. The one we choose. Sophie clinked her mug. To new beginnings. They'd weather the storm, emerging unbreakable. Daniel knew challenges might come, but with love as their foundation, they'd face them together.